Hi everyone, it's Lisa and Luna from Don't Run with Scissors, back with another Technique Tuesday. I've been asked a lot of questions about the flip-flop cards that I've made for a couple of card challenges, so I decided to show a quick video on how I made them. Now, I actually use my brother's Scan and Cut, and if you're lucky enough to have that machine, and I do believe the Cricut on Life's a Beach, I didn't check it before I started the video, so you can check me. The Brother Scan and Cut has a little flip-flop. It's got two parts here. Let's see if I can get that in there. And I used that to make my flip-flop. But the very first time I made it, I didn't have the Brother Scan and Cut, and I didn't think about the Cricut. So what I did was I went online and I found some clip art. So those of you at home who don't have this, I'm going to show you real quick how I made it with the clip art, and then I'm going to move on with the cuts that I made with my Brother Scan and Cut. So here you have, I just Googled flip-flop clip art, and this is where it came out. Now you want to be able, you're going to have to fussy cut these, and you're actually going to fussy cut it twice. So if you want to make a template when you're done, it's probably a good idea. But what you want to do is you're going to have a two-layer flip-flop. So I'm going to take my scissors. I'm not going to be really crazy neat about this just because I'm going to, I want to get on with the rest of the video. And I'm just going to cut around the big border. Okay, and you're going to do that for both of them, but like I said, I'm only going to do for one. And what you want to do, let's see if I have scrap paper instead of this big sheet that I have here. What you want to do is I'm going to make a leopard print, so I'm going to mat it actually in black. You take your template here, and now you're just going to zip around here, following your template. And it goes quick, so not the hardest thing in the world to make. So then, depending on how much you like this size, you could just flip it over and do the same thing again on the black to cover it up. So let's pretend we've got two of our black ones done. So now I want to go in and make the interior. So I'm going to trim this. Let me tell you, the first time I made this card, I was so excited. I love this. That was awesome. And I'm not quite sure why I didn't think I could freehand a flip-flop, but you never know. Okay. And then I'm going to come down to my zebra paper. And we'll go this way with it so we get most of the print. And you can always clean them up after. So if you have a jagged edge somewhere, you can go in and fix it. But don't be afraid to use clip art online, for sure. Especially these. Nice and easy. Peel this off. And you can see I have a jagged edge. Maybe you can, or maybe you can't. Let's see here. I'm going to give that a quick snip. And my flip-flop is done. And now you just have to decorate it and put it together. So like I said, it didn't take much time. Probably cut a little too much here. But on the other side, I have already made some flip-flops. And I wanted to do a nautical theme, so I have this fun beach paper. And you can see my Brother Scan and Cut. I have an outline of 1/4 of an inch. And this is my flip-flop, and I layered it. Now, to make the cute little flip-flops, what you can or can't do, depending on how you want to do it, and this is how I do it, is I use my, where did it go? My Martha Stewart, my Martha Stewart little hole puncher. And on a mat, craft mat, or a real mat so you don't poke holes in anything, poke a hole where the little toe piece would be. Make it a little bit bigger, so you might have to make 2 or 3 depending on how big your punch is. You could also use a hole puncher. And choose how you want to make your flip-flops. Now this one here I actually used some of this, I'm not even sure what its name is, but this is what I used. On a couple other cards that I've already started making, I used white ribbon. And on this one I used some polka dot ribbon. But here I'm going to pop this in, and I use plain old Scotch tape. Some people, I mean, because you are actually going to cover the hole, You could just leave it here and glue it down. It's not the end of the world. But I do tuck mine in. So I'm gonna, and if you have trouble with this stuff, because it always likes to spread, make yourself a little threading piece with some tape. And then it'll go right through the hole. Okay. And then you can just eyeball it where you want it to go. And tuck that tape back there. I'm going to come back and get my long ends and trim them. This will add some height to your card. So like I said, some people like to keep it flat and not go through a hole in the back. All entirely up to you and how you want to handle it. But it will add. But I'm going to kind of pop these up anyways. So then I'm going to take some glue. And I lost my little flower. Now you can use anything for your centers. You can, on these ones here, these are just stickers from Spare Parts at Hobby Lobby. I have white and the gray ones here. You can use the flowers and some brads like I did here. Any number of things, whatever really floats your boat, because you know flip-flops are all the rage and you can put anything on them, you can interchange them. And I'm going to stick my flower right there. Yeah. And let it dry. Of course, I didn't mean to get glue there. Alrighty. Cool. Here's my little pair of flip-flops. And very quick and easy. So, one of the card challenges that I'm going to be going for, it's actually a red, white, and blue. So, I picked, here's my blue, and I have my red background. And all I did was use my whip spackle again and some glitter. So, the Faber-Castell spackle here. And I put down a little stencil and I went over it. So, that's red and drying. Now, the question is, how do I make my sand? That's the question everybody really asked. And I have to tell you, I had liquid sand and it dried on me. And I was devastated the first time I made a card and I didn't know what to do with it because I really needed a birthday card. So then somebody brought me sand. Well, gluing that down didn't sound like a lot of fun either. So I wound up at Life's Memories and More, a scrapbook store in Palmer, Mass. And Tanya there said, why don't you use sandpaper? Well, that was brilliant. So, trick with the sandpaper. You can go to any, obviously Ace Hardware, not Hobby Lobby, Home Depot, and you can buy sandpaper. I recommend buying a bigger sheet as you're going to see what happens next. So I had these little ones. What you want to do is have Mod Podge available and Mod Podge it and then set that aside. So here's a piece that I have. It's got some black fleck in it, which is really what I was going for. I really wanted the sand to look like it's going to pop. And it's Mod Podge, so it's got a little bit of shine to it. Do not, well, measure your card, and do not use your paper cutter. Use scissors. So then what you want to do is you want to take a piece of it and you want to tear it. And here I've teared two sides. They go like this. And now I'm going to flip them this way. If you get some of that extra paper that's left over up here, you can haircut it through. But because these are actually going to wind up behind my flip-flops, I'm not so worried about it. And I'm going to glue my first layer down. And I want to use this tape that's behind the camera. You like that coming out? It seems a little silly. So I'm going to put my first strip down. I am going to go for a second strip. Okay. I'm going to peel this off. This card is a 4.5 by 6. So if anybody at home is wondering really how big these are, the flip-flops are about 2 inches wide, 4 inches tall. I'll put this right on my edge. Okay, now I'm going to put my first flip-flop down in the sand. And I'm going to use some pop-ups. Because I do have to match the height that I put that string in. Like I said, some people don't do the string, and that's fine. And I'm not going to do anything lower in the sand. I'm going to cover the sand up in a second. stick you here. And I'm going to come in with my second layer of sand. Ah, hang on a minute. Come back. Oops, hang on. I did it backwards. I should have done the first layer first. Sorry, everybody at home. Okay. I knew this was going too easy. Don't follow along. Watch this one first. Okay. All right, so regroup. Stick this one underneath. This flip-flop goes in the back, so before you punch everything down, unlike me, I was committed today. And get this one in. And there you have your flip-flop card. I'm going to have to come in with a baby wipe because this extra, oh, actually I do have one right here. This glue is just making me a little crazy. And you can see that shimmer, and I don't like it. So, there is your flip-flop card. Now I do have a sentiment that I punched out or stamped with some Night of Navy Stampin' Up! Ink. And I'm not quite sure where that's going to go. But I have that, and then I also have my little tag here that says Life's a Beach, and I might hang that right off my flip-flop. So we're going to see that. But that is how you make these cute little flip-flop cards. I do adore them. I think they're super cute and just really easy to make. And you can get help from maybe the men in your life with sandpaper, because he'll be impressed you're playing with it. So, hope that you enjoyed this video, and don't be afraid to try and make these. Again, Clip Art Online is great, and I will see you next time. Thanks.